History is often written by the victors. It is written in the ink of treaties and the blood of battlefields. But once in a millennium, history is written by a man who was so quiet, the whole world had to stop to listen. January 30th, 1948. 5:17 p.m., 3 shots ring out in New Delhi. The father of the nation falls. A man who survived hunger strikes, British prisons, and lynch mobs is killed by his own countrymen. Today, we see him on currency notes. We see him as a statue in town squares. He has become a safe, sanitized symbol of peace. But the real Gandhi was not safe. He was dangerous. He was a radical. He was a revolutionary who dismantled the most powerful military force on earth without firing a single shot. How did a shy, fearful boy become a force of nature? And what did he lose along the way? This is the full, unvarnished story of the Mahatma. To understand the saint, we must meet the sinner. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was born in 1869 in Porbandar, Gujarat. We like to imagine great men are born fearless. Mohandas was terrified. He slept with the lights on because he was afraid of ghosts. He was afraid of thieves. He was afraid of snakes. As a teenager, he wasn't pious. He was rebellious. He secretly ate meat, a taboo in his Vaishnav family, because a friend told him it would make him strong like the British. He stole gold from his brother to pay for a debt. But here, we see the first glimpse of his character. Consumed by guilt, he wrote a confession letter to his father. He prepared himself for a beating. His father read the letter. He didn't scream. He didn't strike him. He simply tore up the paper and wept. Gandhi later wrote that those tears cleansed his heart. It was his first lesson in the power of nonviolence. Love is more powerful than punishment. At 18, Mohandas leaves India for London to become a lawyer. Forget the loincloth. Young Gandhi was obsessed with becoming an English gentleman. He bought a chimney pot hat from Bond Street. He spent money he didn't have on violin lessons. He stood in front of mirrors, practicing how to tie a tie. He was desperate to fit in. He wanted the approval of the empire. But no matter how well he dressed, the color of his skin was a ceiling he could not break. He returned to India in 1891, a qualified barrister, but a professional failure. In court, he was so nervous he couldn't speak. He was literally laughed out of the courtroom. Destiny, it seemed, had closed every door in India. So, when a job offer came from a firm in South Africa, he took it. Not out of ambition, but out of desperation. South Africa, 1893. This is where the boy died, and the Mahatma was born. We all know the story of the Pietermaritzburg train station, where he was thrown off for being brown in a first-class compartment. But the real transformation happened after the train. Gandhi didn't immediately turn against the British. In fact, during the Boer War in 1899, he actually formed an ambulance corps to help the British. He carried wounded soldiers for miles on stretchers. He still believed that if Indians proved their loyalty, the empire would grant them equality. He was wrong. The British passed the Black Act, forcing Indians to carry registration cards and give fingerprints like criminals. September 11th, 1906, the Empire Theatre in Johannesburg. Gandhi stands before thousands of angry Indians. They want to fight. They want to riot. Gandhi proposes something insane. He says, "We will not obey this law, but we will not hit back. We will go to jail. We will die if necessary, but we will not comply." He called it satyagraha, truth force. It was psychological warfare. When a man hits you and you hit back, the fight is physical. But when a man hits you and you look him in the eye without fear, without hate, the fight becomes moral. You deny him his victory. During this time, Gandhi changed his life completely. He established Tolstoy Farm. He gave up Western clothes. He took a vow of brahmacharya, celibacy, at age 37, believing that to serve humanity, he must give up personal desires. He cleaned toilets. He made his own shoes. He was dismantling his ego, piece by piece. By the time he left South Africa in 1914, he had forced the government to pass the Indian Relief Act. He had won, 1915, Gandhi returns to India. He is a hero, but he realizes a hard truth. The Indian elite, the lawyers and politicians, were disconnected from the reality of India. India lived in its 700,000 villages. He traveled the country in third-class train cars. He saw poverty that broke his heart. He launched the non-cooperation movement in 1920. It was electric. The British administration began to crumble. Freedom seemed months away. And then, Chauri Chaura happened. February 1922. A group of protesters, provoked by police, locked 22 policemen inside a station and burned them alive. The nation cheered. Retribution! But Gandhi was horrified. He did the unthinkable. He called off the entire movement. His followers were furious. They said, "We are winning. Why stop now?" Gandhi replied, "I would rather have no freedom than freedom won through blood." He was arrested and sentenced to 6 years in prison. He accepted it with a smile. The movement went cold. The British thought Gandhi was finished, but in 1930 he returned with an idea so simple, it was genius. Salt. The British taxed salt. It was a crime to make it. Gandhi decided to walk 240 miles to the ocean to pick up a handful of salt. The British media laughed. "Can an emperor be defeated by a kettle?" they mocked. Day by day, the crowd grew. The world press, Time magazine, the New York Times, began covering the March to the Sea. On April 6th, he broke the law. Following him, millions of Indian women who had never left their homes came out to make salt. The jails filled up with 60,000 people. The British realized they were ruling a country that no longer feared them. 1931. The British government invites Gandhi to London for the Round Table Conference. Imagine the scene. He walks into Buckingham Palace to meet King George V. The king is in silk and jewels. Gandhi is wearing a loincloth and a shawl. When a reporter asked if he felt underdressed, Gandhi smiled and said, "The king is wearing enough clothes for both of us." He was charming the world, but back home, the final struggle was beginning. 1942. World War II is raging. Gandhi launches the Quit India movement. His slogan is terrifyingly simple: do or die. The British arrest everyone. They imprison Gandhi in the Aga Khan Palace. And here, Gandhi faces his greatest personal loss: his wife, Kasturba. The woman who had stood by him since they were 13. The woman who suffered his stubbornness, his jail terms, his poverty. She falls ill in prison. There is no medicine that can save her. February 1944. She dies in Gandhi's arms. For the first time in decades, the Mahatma is truly alone. He keeps her sorry with him for the rest of his life. 1947. The British finally give up. India is free. But the price is partition. The country is sliced in two, India and Pakistan. While Delhi celebrates with fireworks and speeches, Gandhi is not there. He is in Bengal, walking barefoot through villages torn apart by religious massacres. Hindus killing Muslims, Muslims killing Hindus. He is an old man now, 77 years old. He is weak. But he goes on a fast unto death. He says, "I will not eat until the killing stops." And miraculously, it works. The gangs surrender their weapons at his feet. Lord Mountbatten wrote, "In the Punjab, we have 55,000 soldiers and large-scale rioting. In Bengal, our force consists of 1 man, and there is no rioting." But peace has enemies. There were those who felt Gandhi was too soft on the Muslims, that he had betrayed the Hindu cause. One of them was Nathuram Godse, January 30th, 1948. Gandhi walks to his prayer meeting. He leans on his grandnieces. Godse steps forward. He bows, and then fires 3 shots. Over 2 million people joined his funeral procession. But a man like Gandhi does not die. When Martin Luther King Jr. needed a way to fight racism, he looked to Gandhi. When Nelson Mandela fought apartheid, he looked to Gandhi. When Steve Jobs wanted to think different, he put Gandhi on the poster. Gandhi was not perfect. He was a man of contradictions, struggles, and failures. But he proved one thing that the world must never forget. You don't need a weapon to be a warrior. The highest form of courage is not to kill, but to refuse to bow down.